one of the things we did struggle with in our early days in marriage was she just love for sleep.
You struggled with it. I did not struggle.
I did struggle with it.
Yeah.
Like in my head was, why are you still sleeping at 5 a.m.? Okay. I didn't want a big wedding. I didn't want a loud wedding. I wanted a very small, intimate wedding. Now, it wasn't from a financial standpoint. It was just, it was something I'd always wanted when I...
But like, we didn't even have money for a big wedding.
You don't have to tell them. They don't have to know that.
Guys. Hello guys, thank you for joining us today. My name is Siju Yusuf and this is my husband Lanre Yusuf and we are on marital TV.
Yay, welcome my guest today. So if you have ever been at a crossroad or had any issue or thinking about how in-laws relationship or setting boundaries with in-laws have been, then I'll definitely need you to watch this video because I'm not talking about this alone. I have Lanre and Siju here to talk about this with me. But before we go ahead, let's know them a bit more. Thank you for coming.
Oh, thank you for having us. Just a disclaimer. Lanre is quite, what's the word now? With the word boundaries, Lanre feels like that's not gracious enough.
Yes.
Lanre thinks that's, even though I feel like it's empowering.
I think I struggled with that word boundary.
Lanre has struggled with the word boundary. Lanre, I feel like it's empowering when you can use the words that you're supposed to be using. But Lanre feels like that there's no grace in that word boundary. Right. So this is as a way of introduction. You can feel the dynamics.
Already. Okay. Let's know more about you.
What would you like to know?
Well, I think we can start off with what we've been married.
Right. Okay.
How long have we been married for? That's where me flipping that question. Married for.
I have to do a quick calculation.
We've been married for 14 years. We've been together for what, 19?
Yeah.
We were married for 14. We've been together for 19.
19 years.
We met when uni. She did a lot of shakara. For those who don't know what shakara means, it's a Nigerian word for saying, "Oh, she played hard to get." So yeah.
As I should.
No comments. Let's move on. So yeah, and we have a son. We have a 9-year-old son who's going to be 10 in a few months' time. Shemi.
Yeah.
And yeah, we live here in Bournemouth. We've been in Bournemouth for the last 7-8 years.
8 years now.
8 years.
Okay, so what do you do?
I work in an investment bank. I work as a project manager. What about you?
And I work at the university. I work with the operations team. On the side as well, I do a bit of consulting. So.
And this is actually Dr. Siji Yusuf.
Yes.
I think we should give her that.
I think for the sake of the sake, it's doctor and doctor. It's doctor and doctor.
Larry, listen.
It's doctor by association.
Doctorship is by or doctorate or how do they even say? I can't even say. It's by association.
Yes.
But Larry, well, you did your best, so yeah.
Thank you. On that, my flowers.
On that note.
On that note, can you please introduce us properly, baby?
No, you've done a very good job. Well done, Larry.
All right, thank you.
You did a good job.
Doctor and doctor.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Amazing. So to go further, can you give us? Let's just break some ice. 2 truths and a lie. I know it's hard between couples because you know a lot about yourself, but
it's not hard.
It would really be nice to see Larry feel you.
Okay.
So yeah. So
I was gonna go first.
Were you? All right, done.
No, go on. Go on, just kidding.
Because I'm jumping right into it now. I've forgotten what I was gonna say.
Good.
But I think. So I'll say the 3, yeah, and he can decide which one is the truth and which one is the lie.
Yes.
Right. I got baptized in 1998.
Jeez.
I grew my top tooth first, and I like to wake up very early in the morning.
Okay. So the lie is that she likes to wake up very early in the morning.
But I do, don't I?
Pardon?
No, I don't.
Even me, I know.
I know I don't. I don't. I love my sleep.
Oh, I love my mornings. I think that's when the sleep starts.
Yeah.
That's the sweetest part of the night.
And you know, when people say, "What is your hobby?" I don't know what to say. I don't know how to respond. No, but this is the truth, Larry. Is this still introduction of?
Yes, go ahead.
So, honestly, I love to sleep. It helps me. It helps my creativity. When I sleep, things happen.
I think
I wake up with ideas.
So that's a hobby for you.
I enjoy sleeping. Like I literally enjoy sleeping.
I think for the sake of this chat this afternoon, one of the things we did struggle with in our early days in marriage was she just love for sleep.
You struggled with it. I did not struggle.
I did struggle with it.
Yeah.
Like in my head was, why are you still sleeping at 5 a.m.? Okay, I'll cut you some grace. Why are you still sleeping at 6 a.m.? Why are you still sleeping at 7 a.m.? And I just did not get it.
But now do you get it?
Oh, I love you to have your beauty sleep.
Because when I wake up, Lanre, you know that I'm getting on with stuff, no?
But actually, I love my mornings. I like to wake up very early in the morning. I like to have my space. And so I'm grateful that she sleeps in.
Yeah.
And so I have my space to myself. So I enjoy waking up very early, 5 a.m.,
and
6
then she's
a.m.
still sleeping. And
she's
then
still sleeping.
So that's when you have like your me time.
Yeah, so I have my me time, which I absolutely enjoy. And that's one lie about me, actually. No?
That you
Enjoy my me time early in the morning.
That's not a lie.
Oh, okay.
That's true, actually.
Oh,
you like to be by yourself in the morning because you
and in the evening
pray for hours.
and in the evening too.
And in the evening too. So yeah.
All right. So what has been your initial experience with your in-laws and how much has it shaped your relationship? You just want to talk us through that.
Initial experience with in-laws.
Like when you got married or the earlier years.
Are you trying to get me into trouble?
No, not at all.
Well, I think from my perspective, Lanre. Anyway, I feel like from my perspective, the first day ever that I met my mother-in-law, she just reminded me of my mom. The typical thing that my mom would do was what she did. She didn't know what the relationship was or where it was headed. So when she saw me, I greeted her, she greeted me, and she went about her business. And that's exactly what my mom would do. No one has introduced anybody to you, so
you can't assume or start.
You're not making a fuss, and that's because of who she is as well.
So we were not dating her. No, we were dating
but not married. Yeah, and that's who she is as well. She goes about her business. If you don't pull her into a conversation, she's never coming into that conversation.
And what about my siblings?
Your siblings? When I can't really remember I remember exactly the interaction with Momsi because of what I felt like, okay, this is like my mom. But I can't really remember with your siblings.
You met Lekon first.
They're good guys.
Something that happened, I'm sure you have remembered.
And of course I remember, so Lekon is Lanre's brother, who is older than me, by the way. But when I met Lekon was exceptionally respectful towards Lanre. And I'm thinking, you're not even way older than him. Why you? But he's such a respectful person towards his brother, and I feel very privileged that he respects me like, oh, that's my brother's wife, even though he's older than me. He's a great guy.
Maybe I should just open a can of worms here.
Don't do it.
So for those who are familiar with the Nigerian Yoruba culture, you know culturally, the wife is meant to, even if you're older than the youngest person in your husband's family, you need to speak to them respectfully. You need to call them uncle. And I was saying to Siju, like, why are you not calling my brother? No, that's just me kidding.
That was you joking around.
Yeah, but that's like a normal culture. Back in Africa, especially in Nigeria. You just have to go that extra mile, especially when you're just coming in and...
But you can tell that I'm not cut out for that.
I think what was my first interaction with your siblings and your parents as well who are my in-laws today. I think so. We obviously met when we were in uni. Started dating when we were in uni, and I remember seeing your mom. I think your mom was actually very warm, very receptive towards me.
Oh yeah, I think so.
So, and that was just how we started that relationship back then. So I think in terms of like that initial, how we all connected, I met Shiju's mom when I was in school. I would go to her house from time to time, see her mom there, and that relationship or that mutual respect was there.
Oh yeah, I think she was really warm towards you, because I just remembered now that you guys were even doing transactions together. You wanted to purchase something that you were
Asking
wanting
her
her to help
advice.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. So how that's so sweet to hear. So through your 14 years so far in marriage, was there any time that you really had to press on some boundaries? Was there any time that it was really necessary, or has it just been flowing naturally since then? Is there any specific time that you had to enforce, and how did you handle
It's quite good you ask that question. I think we'll probably have a few stories or a few things around that. So when we decided we wanted to get married,
Oh yeah. That's a good story actually.
I didn't want a big wedding. I didn't want a loud wedding. I wanted a very small, intimate wedding. Now, it wasn't from a financial standpoint. It was just it was something I'd always wanted when I was.
But like, we didn't even have money for a big wedding.
Don't have to tell them. They don't have to know that.
Guys, we were very, very humble.
You didn't have to tell them. Anyways, so I think back then when we agreed to get married, I didn't want a big wedding. Like I said, I wanted a small wedding. And I think Shiju's mom, wanted us to have a big wedding. And this is what had happened, or we had seen with her siblings as well, like Shiju's sisters when they got married.
Can I just give a backstory quickly? So the reason is not because of anything. It's just because we have a large family and I'm the last of the kids. And for my siblings that had gotten married, they had a big wedding. So the weddings would go on for 4 days.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like a carnival sometimes. So that's what we were used to, and so that was what we were expecting. Because we have like a lot of cousins, we have people that would want to come for that wedding, and even if it was just my mom's family alone, would be having close to 500 people. I have a dad as well, so my dad's family, and then we're talking about Lanre, so I'm so expected they would be looking at like a large number, no?
So so yeah, understandably so, Shiju's mom's position was she wanted a large wedding. She wanted to have, people come around. But I didn't want that. And so I said to Shiju, like, babe, two things. One, I can't even afford, wedding on that scale. And she was like, well, if money wasn't the problem, would you still want to have a big, would you still want to have people come around? And I'm like, if money wasn't a problem, my answer would still be a no. So it became, how do we navigate this interesting space? What do we do? And I think I eventually got Shiju on my side, where she was like, okay, if it's a small wedding, it's a small wedding. We can't even afford a big wedding. But obviously Shiju's parents on their own side was, oh, why can't we have a big wedding? So that was their position. And for those who are non-Christians or who are Christians listening to this session, what I then did was I went to pray. That was what I did. I just went to pray and I said, God, this is my heart. I don't want a big wedding just because I don't want it. But I need to convince my in-laws that I don't want it. And so please help me. And I would never forget, Shiju just came to me and she said, oh, Dad had spoken to Mom, because Dad had a moment where he just felt, if the kids want to do a small wedding and that's what they want, then I think the right thing for us to do is to just, align with them, and that was the saving grace.
I think that's just in a short what's the word now? Just putting it
To summarize.
Succinctly, yeah, is that the boundary that we try to create in that
boundary.
you don't like it, but Larry, so we're being very graceful, guys, and please, we're not saying boundary because we've come into like a sort of self-awareness and empowered position and using these words loosely, but the sort of boundary that we had to create in that moment was telling them this is what we want. But even though it wasn't physically working, we had to
pray
about it. And I think that really made a statement in terms of how people have, or in terms of how our family has gone on this journey with us. They know from that instance that these people would choose themselves and they would go with what they feel like is right for them, regardless of, external pressures or factors. Yeah.
Another story to tell. So when
Larry has stories for this. I never remember this story.
So when we were,
it's so good.
When we were trying for kids, or when we were not trying for kids, I remember. So on this particular day, my mom came to me and we're talking, and she said, Mutiemba, mommy Shiju Soro, meaning I was speaking to Shiju's mom, and Shiju's mom was like, what are the kids doing about children? Are they planning to have children? And my mom said to her, my mom said to me that our response to her was, just leave those children. When they are ready, they would do what they need to do.
Because in our culture, it's not unusual that parents would
step in and say,
have those conversations. Yeah, whether in the nicest form of ways or whether
you like it,
whether bullishly.
but I think to your point, Siju, one, I think both our parents would mind their business.
Yeah.
I think two is we've made it very clear that this is our position. I would choose my wife first. I love and I respect my parents. I love and I respect my in-laws. However, my wife is my wife. And so I would expect that she's respected, the same way I'm being respected. That's from my mom. And I think it's the same with you as well.
Yeah.
Like even with your siblings, And I think one thing with...
Can I just say here, Lanre has the best relationship with my siblings.
Wow.
Honestly, it's unbelievable. He has conversations with them that they will not tell me. They will not tell me. Because Lanre is there. And then they're chatting on the phone, they're talking. I'm like, anyway. I'm not jealous.
Can I say also that Shiju has amazing relationship with my siblings as well, which I think it's just really beautiful to see how we all get along. Now, one of the things that I wanted to point out is it's very important that in a union, how we present our spouses is very critical to how they will be treated.
Yeah.
And not for once did I stand in front of my siblings or my parents to say, hey, say anything bad about her in any way. I always portrayed and always painted her in a very good light. And
not because you were painting a picture.
Yeah.
Because this is who I am.
Yes. Yeah, that's really right. No, but jokes apart, and we can start talking about how amazing Shiju is. But that's not the point. The point is, I think it's very important that, and it's not even to our in-laws alone.
Exactly.
I think it's to everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Imagine if I came to you, Mabel, and I said to you, Shiju is this, Shiju is that. It then forms a perception about Shiju.
Yeah.
And when you see Shiju the next time, you would relate with her based on what I've said. True. And especially coming from your spouse, it carries a lot of weight.
Yeah, because that's the person we know knows you a lot.
Yeah. Yes. And I feel like that's not even localized to like a marriage situation alone. Even kids, if you go about saying that, my child is like stubborn or this, that, the other, because you feel like the trait in your child, you are not able to manage, whatever, I don't know. That's what people start looking out in your child. And so when your child is trying to be firm and draw lines and, create boundaries. What people are saying is that child is stubborn. But no, that's just a very assertive child, self-aware child that's very firm and knows what they want, and they're, going for what they want. So I feel like, again, it's how we, if you tell someone, for example, oh, haven't you seen how I work? Or I'm so dedicated, I'm so this, I'm so that. That's how they look at you. Yeah. Just because you vocalize it, just because you've said it. So the things that we say have a way of highlighting themselves. So the things that we say about our partners, our spouses, have a way of highlighting themselves. I know that I respect and honor Lanre. If you guys are on my WhatsApp, you'd have deleted me.
Lanro.
This is what people see. GC. People see the honor, people see the respect, people. So then
I'm sure it doesn't even have an idea what you mean.
It doesn't look at my.
No. That is your status. It's not a status. It's not there.
Yeah, I think I'm just saying all that to say that how people really see how you present this person is how people react to them.
Unconsciously, that's how people take your spouse. That's a very true one. So is there something you have to tell? Okay, there might be newly wedded couples watching this video, or people that are already in marriage, on how they can manage interference with their in-laws, because for some in-law stories or in-law relationships are just as funny and interesting as some Nollywood movies.
What's Nollywood movie?
Movies from Nigeria.
Yes, it can be that's interesting. So is there something you want to, or a word of advice you want to throw to couples out there on how to, create a boundary? I know you don't like the word boundary, or just create that line between respecting your in-laws and also respecting your spouse.
Did you want to go?
Yeah. So I think, again, like I said earlier, for those who are non-Christians, for those who are Christians, I'm a Christian. So, and I let God's word guide and guard me. And where I would start off with, or what I would start off with, is the Bible says that and two shall become one. And so for me, that's the foundation. That's the genesis, if you like, where two have become one.
And I like how, sorry, can I just quickly comment? I like how the Bible also says that, cleaving.
Yeah.
Living and cleaving.
Yeah.
So you're living, but what happens is sometimes we leave and we don't cleave, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes we cleave and we don't leave.
Yeah.
So we need to live and cleave.
Yeah.
And that's how it works. Because
I think we're both going in the same direction, which is two shall become one. And when we become one, it means that we've left and we've cleaved. And it's that sense of oneness.
Yeah.
And so once and I know that there are people who might be tied in a way to their family for whatever reasons, maybe because of how they've been raised and all of that. And sometimes people would struggle to draw that line, or, that clear separation between family and my own family. But the reality is that this is now your family. This is now your immediate family. They've now become your extended family, if you like. And this is now your immediate family. And you are now accountable. You are now responsible first in this home. And I'm not saying you are, I love my mom to bits. I love my siblings to bits. But this is now my wife. She's now my family. And I would spend more time with her than the times I spent with them. And so I think the first thing is obviously recognizing that we are now one. It's recognizing that I need to honor my wife, I need to respect, and I need to love my wife. And so if I love, honor, and respect my wife, how do I portray my wife? What picture do I paint of my wife out there, which is very, very critical. And so what I would say to anyone is love your wife, respect your wife, and showcase her in the best way possible, so that when people see her, they go like, wow, wow. Like that's what they see when they see her.
And this is not to say that people don't have flaws, or that I'm flawless or Lanre is flawless. No, we just choose to celebrate the strengths more than the weaknesses. So rather than, I don't know, what do you do that I don't like? The 1,000,001 things that he does that I don't like. Rather than focus on those ones, I choose to celebrate the things that I enjoy. And so when I'm talking about Lanre, I'm talking about his strengths. I'm talking about why I like him. I'm talking about why he's the best for me. And when people hear that, when they see Lanre, that's what they see.
And can I jump in as well?
Yeah.
I also feel that when people have challenges in marriage, and challenges would come because you're humans, my advice would be, as much as you love and respect your parents, do not take it to your parents. And I say that because once you take it to your, if Siju does something wrong and I tell my parents about it, there's going to be a bias. There's going to be a bias. If I do something wrong, Siju tells our parents, Siju tells our siblings, there's going to be a bias. And so, and eventually you would resolve your differences. But guess what? The impression, the picture that you've created already is there. And so if you have issues, personally, again, different things work for different people, but I would say if you need to take it out of your immediate
So I think what we're saying is that, if a third party interference is needed, or no interference, a third
intervention
is required, it's better if the third party is an unbiased third party. Your family will always be biased. If there's a Yoruba adage that says that meaning that regardless of what your child does, your child remains your child.
And you won't give your child to a lion because you're upset with your child.
So if there's nothing I would do now that I'll stop being my mother's child. And so if Lanre goes, or if I go to my mom, for example, and say Lanre did this or Lanre did that, the likelihood that they'll still support me in the end is very, very high because
and even if they call you out, eventually they'll still support you because ultimately you're their child.
I'm their child.
And then you don't just forget those things.
Even
if they won't act that way towards your spouse, it's already there. And God help you if there's another reoccurrence, they're already counting. Oh, this happened the last time. A particular impression about you. So amazing discussion. Thank you so much. You have something to chip in, or
I'm thinking, what's the other thing that's there to say?
That I love you so much.
I know that already.
Yes. I think that's where we'll cut it. So tell Siju one thing you've not told her this week.
This week.
Yeah, and Siju will tell you something.
Oh, I know this. I know what I'm waiting to hear.
Okay.
No, don't.
It's okay.
Think about it too much.
Oh, yeah, the best thing after Agbalumo. No, that I love you so much.
This is not something that you say, but you haven't said. So I'm waiting if you can pick on that one.
Wow.
I cannot pick on it.
How can I serve you?
Oh, how can I serve you, baby girl? Tell me.
She misses it.
Tell me, how can I serve you?
It means a lot to her.
And there are different ways I can serve you. You better.
So you've not said yours to him.
What I haven't said to you this week that I would like to say to you. You sent me I love you. I sent emoji back. Thumbs up. I already said everything. I told you I'm grateful for all the things you do. And then you were asking me what things.
Like what?
To be fair, I had no response to that one. But just everything you do. For making me smile.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Is this where we cut and we go to the other room?
Okay. At this point, you're stopping today. Thank you for watching this. And I hope this helped you in one way or the other. Thank you for watching. And if you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Click that button right now. And thank you, Siju and Larry, for coming on this with me today.
Thank you for having us. Thank you to the producer. Thank you, everyone. Ciao.